probably one of the most liked, famous shows for 26 years here in Greater Cincinnati.
Great association over the years, Channel 5, bowling, and boy, it just seems to get better every year. And Greg Lothian looks to be getting better with every shot.
I'm going to have a 240 before the day's over. I don't care what you say. Somebody.
Okay.
I've got Flash-O-Matic in the back here.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll see.
Okay.
We're looking at Ron Pollard. Tell us a little bit about Ron, David.
Ron Pollard's been a round of bowling tournaments since he's been 16 years old. Again, not an overly impressive ball when it comes to covering boards, but look at all three players on today, Tommy. You've got in the first match Tony, who doesn't really bend it around the board, but he's accurate. Likewise with Ron Pollard, and Greg Lothian, again, probably throws the most hook out of all of them, but again, it's fairly straight. The accuracy is the key today, lanes 5 and 6.
Ron Pollard looking to open up with back-to-back strikes here in game number 2, and that's exactly what he does. So a nice start for Ron. And Greg Lothian will try to answer.
Well, last week he threw a lot of strikes here. He shot 760.
Make it up.
765. Hey, there we go.
There you go. There you go. Good number.
Once you get over that, who really cares about the extra pins? Ron Pollard's just kind of getting into his own mode. Oh, he snuck a peek there at the end.
Sure did. He wasn't going to leave it standing that time.
No, and on the replay, we'll be able to see why it gets out. The terrific action of the 6-pin. Second one from the right-hand side of your screen. Watch this. To the channel. Whack.
Good night.
Out of here.
Good night.
Catch you later.
That's the new rest factor.
Yeah, here we go. Hey, both players got a double working. And you know what that means if we get a bunch of them?
What does that mean, Dave? Come on, what does that mean?
A Ford Escargot. Oh, wait a minute, that's...
No.
Escort.
No.
I got it. Just kidding.
See, Jen, that's why we like to make sure that when it comes to things like that, that you can make sure you can take care of that. Because David has a lot of problems.
Right, Todd Schiller's here this morning. Brought us the Ford Escort GT, and they are really jazzing up these Escorts. Let me tell you, they are looking good.
Got a Pioneer sound system in it, 400 amps.
Exactly.
You know, with a...
Got a car phone?
Yeah. No, it doesn't. We'd have to
maybe
work
you
something
can take care of it.
Look out.
Ooh, got away from it.
Look out. After starting with 3 great shots out of Greg Lothian, 2 super shots out of Ron Pollard, we go wide. Let's watch and see if we can pick up wide. Right here, he's trying to play around the 10th board. He covers that. Oh, there you go. The ball never went into the roll at the right point in the lane. Probably a release problem. And folks, if you're working on your game at home, you've got to watch the ball roll for the entire 60-foot section of lane. If it doesn't roll at the right time, there's either something on the lane you have to make look out.
Wow.
You have to make an adjustment on lane and adapt to it. Now, that time he slipped.
Right.
He slipped or stuck, and footing is very, very... Right there, you see him hop a little bit. Elbow flies out. The 2-pin's going to go in front of the 5. Critical, terribly timed thing for an open. I mean, Greg Lothian with a triple working and the kind of bowler he is, Ron Pollard is going to have to strike for about the next 7 frames to get back in the match.
Ron had it going. Back-to-back strikes in first and second frame. Had his problems in the third, but that's a mark of a good player. Able to come right back after leaving an open frame and put 10 in the pit.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And there you go. You put your finger on it, Tommy. The experienced player is going to regroup a lot faster than the other players. And the score sheet will tell the story. Greg Lothian, perfect through 3, basically 60 in the second. Project that out to 90, gives him a 34-pin lead. But it's early.
Yeah, long way to go. Greg Lothian looking for 4 in a row to start our second game, and not gonna have it this time. What in the world happened with him?
Little soft, ball going right through the heart of the pins. If the ball picks up the roll early, you know, we're talking about it skidding too far down the lane. Now that ball started to hook up way too early, cuts right through, takes out the 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and you leave this monstrosity. He's going for it.
Well, No one's going to accuse Greg Lothian of being shy.
Not on that shot.
Not at all. Well, Pollard gets a break. Lothian opens here in the fourth.
I'd like to mention that the men's city tournament, they still are accepting entries through March 16th. It will be held at Super Bowl, and the tournament will run Saturdays and Sundays, April 9th through the 24th, and they still are taking entries, so get those in for the men's city tournament.
Super Bowl over in KY. Boy, now that one looked like it really got away from it.
Well, exactly, way too wide, and there you see it. And how many times have we seen it that a man makes a bad shot on a certain lane, like lane 6, he goes right through the headpin. Lane 5, he makes an adjustment, and he goes wide, leaving the 2-4-5-8 a difficult spare.
Now, why would Greg Lothian make an adjustment after his first 3 shots were all strikes? We'll get back to that when we come back from the break. As you take a look at it, got a good one going on the Hudy Bowl, King of TV Bowling. We'll be right back.
Last week at Gilman.
Not quite sure what he's doing, but nevertheless lending a helping
So
hand.
what's new, right? Tell
What
you
are
what,
you
we've
looking
got, well, we've got a match. It's tightened up considerably, but Greg Lothian is going to be in a tough situation. Let's watch the replay. Right there, over the 10th board again. He gets great roll on this shot. 1-3 pockets filled up. Every pin doing its job. Ron Pollard,
You know, it
left
looked like
lane.
he had, excuse me for interrupting, it
Yeah.
looked like he had made a serious mistake back in the third frame when he left that open. But after Lothian's problems, Pollard really, with these 2 strikes, is taking command of the match.
Well, with the double in the first and second, critical open, as you pointed out, Tommy, in the third, and then answering with 3 more, he actually takes the lead by about 19 pins.
We have some other sponsors out this morning. From the Hudy Brewery, once again, we have Tony Plank, Al Cataro, and Ken Brand. I'd like to thank them for coming this morning.
I think Tony's been out every week this year.
Yes, I think he has. And I'll tell you another thing. We have a new sponsor, Lee's Famous Recipe, and I went and had some Lee's Famous Recipe this week. And I used to go to the other place, but no more. Their spices are great.
No
Lee's is fantastic,
Lee's famous.
especially when you wash it down with a 6-pack of that Bach beer by Hudy. Ooh, awesome blend.
David Newgrass. Great pickup. Yeah, it sure was. And he needed that. If he would have left another open frame, he might as well turn out the lights.
That's exactly right. Here, this is the way you make it, ladies and gentlemen, at home. The 1-2 has to be touched about the same time, throws the head pin, there you see it, into the wall, actually 1 rail, into the 10. Great shot, Greg Lothian, but not making excuses again, but watch Greg's wrist. It's given him some sort of a problem. He's shaking it after release. He's holding it. He's trying to keep it limber at this point. There is something. There you see it.
Yeah, you
He
picked
is
that up.
He's in pain. And the pain was a factor because the rest of game 2, Greg Lothian was not his normal self. Gutting it out, though, in the 7th, 8th, and 9th frames, setting up a dramatic finish, but Ron Pollard answering the call. 234, 208, Ron Pollard going to meet the champion.
Last week during our untelevised Youth King of Bowling at Eastgate Lanes, Mike Meeker shot a 679 with handicap and became our Youth Bowler of the Week. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation, salutes Mike Meeker.
Hey, let's get something to drink. Let's forget about it.
No, come on, it's no problem.
So, how do we get back in?
Hey. Okay, come on, let's go. You got the keys? This is not a problem.
Want to go bowling?
I'd be delighted.
Come on, get with it. Let's share the fun. Grab the flavor, that's number one. I know the way that fish just right. Make my delight. Make my delight. Make my delight.
Hi, I'm Mike Schott, Vice President of Cincinnati's Brewery. You know, 1988 is a very special year, not only for our hometown of Cincinnati, which is celebrating its 200th birthday, but also for the King of Bowling show, which marks its 25th anniversary on television, making it the second longest running sports program in TV history, second only to Major League Baseball. During this 25-year span, King of Bowling has been brought to you exclusively by Cincinnati breweries. Back in 1963, when it all began, Shanling was the first corporate sponsor, then Berger, and then Hudipol. With the merger of Hudipol and Shanling in 1986, your friends and neighbors at Cincinnati's Brewery are pleased to continue their sponsorship. We hope that as you celebrate Cincinnati's bicentennial, you'll celebrate with Cincinnati's celebrated beers: Hudy Delight, Little Kings, Christian Moorline, Hudy Gold, Berger, and Berger Light, the official beers of the Greater Cincinnati Bicentennial. The best beers in the world are brewed right here to be enjoyed here. And on behalf of Cincinnati's Brewery and our celebrated beers, we thank you.
A big crowd. One of the bigger ones we've had this season, and the man that they've come here to cheer on is Riga Kalpas, the 20-year-old Newport, Kentucky native who